Russia has unleashed a huge offensive in Ukraine today. Drone and missile strikes across the country, killing at least 9 people, cutting off heat and electricity to hundreds of thousands, and knocking Europe's largest nuclear plant off the power grid for several hours. Here's a look at where these strikes happened across the country. You can see in red the Russia-occupied areas of Ukraine and the disputed areas in blue currently as this frontline battle continues. Russia confirming they say that they used hypersonic missiles in these attacks that are avoiding Ukraine's air defenses. And the White House is warning of a long haul and a bloody spring in Ukraine. House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman McCaul standing by on this. But first to Chief International Correspondent Steve Harrigan live in Kyiv. Hi, Steve.
Martha, this was really a stunning day, and a day that really put fear in a lot of people's hearts across Ukraine, showing once again that there is nowhere safe, nowhere out of range in the entire country. The explosions began just before 6 a.m. in the darkness. We ran down to the basement here. 2 loud explosions in Kyiv. Explosions, though, in 10 different regions across Ukraine. So if you had a basement at 6 a.m., you were heading down into it. Even the city of Lviv in the west, generally seen as a safe city, hundreds of miles behind the front lines. 5 civilians there killed, their homes simply destroyed. When you talk to Ukrainian officials, some of them seem to have a hard time finding the words to talk about the brutality of today's attack. Here's the mayor of Kyiv.
It's not a war, it's not a special operation, it's genocide, it's terrorism. And I'm more than sure the Russians have to take responsibility for unhuman activities, what they do it in Ukraine.
And you mentioned these hypersonic missiles. Russia used at least 6 of them today. They travel at 5 times the speed of sound. One of the targets today, very unsettling, the Zaporizhia nuclear plant. It's been hit 6 times by Russia, and UN officials say striking this nuclear plant is simply reckless. Martha, back to you.
Thank you very much. Steve Harrigan reporting live from Kyiv, which was under attack, as was the whole country, as he laid out for us in really very stark terms. Let's bring in House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman, Texas Republican Congressman McCaul. Congressman, always good to have you with us. Thank you.
Thanks, Martha. Thanks
for joining us today. I want to play this from the CIA director as part of what the Intel Committee heard about this today. This is Director Bill Burns. Watch.
I think Vladimir Putin is very much taking a longer-term view. He's convinced that he can make time work for him, that he can grind down the Ukrainians through this war of attrition, that he can wear down Western supporters of Ukraine. Therefore, the challenge, I think, is to puncture that view.
How do we puncture that view, Congressman?
Well, I totally agree with the CIA director, and I've been warning the administration about this. We don't have time on our side here. And the longer they take to get the weapons in to allow the Ukrainians to defend themselves and push out Russian aggression, the more it errs to Putin's benefit. In fact, I mean, it is his strategy to have a long, protracted conflict because he knows it will erode the will of not only the West, but Europe as well. And so I've been advising the administration to put everything we can into this fight to stop the killing of innocent civilians, shutting down power grids, threatening nuclear power plants, really terrorizing the people of Ukraine. And they just have taken a very slow-walked approach. They've let them bleed slowly with not enough for victory. I just came back from the region. The Ukrainians, their will and their resolve is strong. We just have to give them what they need to win this thing.
Okay, but what is winning this thing?
Stopping Russian aggression. I think, stopping the aggression in the Donbass and in Crimea. And then at some point, we're going to have to talk about, can we sit down and have peace talks? But the time for that is not right now, because Putin will only use that to delay the conflict. That's his strategy right now, and he's trying to terrorize. If he knows that we're going to throw everything we got in there, time and time again, the Ukrainians win the fight when we give them what they need.
So, but he's using hypersonic missiles against Ukraine. Is that something that we're prepared to help them do against Russia? Are you advising that there should be attacks inside of Russia as well, besides the occupied territory?
No, I would not advise that, particularly with weapons provided by NATO. That would spur Article 5 and a potential war. I think what we need to do is give them, for instance, ATACMS, the longer range artillery that can hit these Iranian drones in Crimea. Right now, the Ukrainians don't have that capability. They have short range, but not long range. And I've been arguing consistently to put those in, as well as aircraft that could stop a lot of these cruise missiles that are coming into Ukraine. And, Iran's in this fight. China's in this fight.
Yeah.
It's China, Russia, Iran, North Korea.
It certainly is. Thank you very much. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Martha.
Chairman McCaul, thank you for being here today.